We have now revisited all MCU Phase 1 movies, so what's the obvious thing to do? Of course, rank them all from S tier to possibly F tier, and I'm gonna go through them in the order that they released. So first movie is gonna be Iron Man 1, and let's stop all the fluff, let's just get right into it. And for this first movie, I don't even have to think long. Iron Man 1, it is going right up there into S tier. Very clear choice, don't even need to think about that. I absolutely love that movie. Like, this is not gonna come to a surprise to anyone that saw my reaction video or my follow-up video where I explain why I watched this movie 15 times throughout my life. Like, absolutely love it. It's the first movie of the MCU. It really kickstarts everything, and I'm sure you don't want to praise this movie too much for starting the MCU. Like, the other movies also had to do a good job. But I'm sure that many of the other movies were a lot easier to create or to even get started following up such a big success with Iron Man. Yeah, it has an amazing story, amazing characters, amazing acting by especially Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He really owned that role. And with amazing music, and yeah, it's a movie that has a special place in my heart. Not just because it's the first movie in the MCU, but also because I just watched it so many times, and I love the journey that Tony Stark goes through in that movie, and also how it sets him up for the journey that he eventually gets in the MCU. So, very clear S tier for me with Iron Man 1. Is there anyone out there that is gonna not rate this S tier? Hopefully not, but no, of course, I'm just kidding. I mean, I would accept A tier, but nothing lower than that. Let me know how you would rank this movie in the comments. And now the next one, The Incredible Hulk. That one for me is, I think, not as easy to judge where it's gonna go. It's definitely not S tier. I mean, do I even have to say that? At least for me. Especially judging this, like, I want to keep this tier list for like the MCU standards. So very high standards. At least that's how it was in the past. Right now, the MCU, you know how it is, going through some rough times. But back then, MCU standards, very high. So yeah, this movie, The Incredible Hulk, it's gonna go into the D tier for me. Maybe that is a bit harsh. I mean, let me know in the comments if this is too harsh, but I think, as I said, MCU standards, very high. I think this is a decent movie, or a good movie, but like MCU wise, it doesn't really fit in. It doesn't at all follow that MCU formula of having like serious, heartwarming elements, but then also the light-hearted humor side to things. Like, it's just a very serious take on the character of Hulk with a different actor that we eventually get, and yeah, so it doesn't really feel connected to the rest of the MCU. Didn't set up any, or not, at least not a lot of important elements in the MCU. So while it has a special place for me in my childhood, like, I really liked this movie as a kid, but now as an adult, giving it a fair ranking, for me, it's D tier. It's a decent movie, I like it, but just to, yeah, be fair to the other Marvel movies, I feel like D tier is where I would put it. But you're free to disagree, let me know in the comments. Now the next movie, Iron Man 2. Yeah, definitely also not S tier. I think we can all agree that the Iron Man 2, the Iron Man sequel, is worse than the first Iron Man movie. It is the first sequel in the MCU, so maybe they were still kind of finding their ways on how to do that. Yeah, I know that there are many people that hate on this movie, but I personally think it's not that bad. It's a movie that I definitely still enjoy. There are worse Iron Man sequels, but yeah, it's not that time yet. For me, Iron Man 2 is going into B tier. I think that's a fair place. It's a good sequel. I enjoy watching it, but Whiplash wasn't really that great. They had like the problem of having Justin Hammer, an amazing character, amazing possible villain. Whiplash, an amazing character, amazing villain, or like could have been an amazing villain. but having them both in there, they didn't really have enough time for either of them, so they were both just kind of meh, although the actors gave their best. So yeah, but of course it connected a lot of things in the MCU, set a lot of things up. Black Widow introduction, a lot more Nick Fury. So I think B tier is a fair place for that movie. It's definitely not bad. I enjoy it, but just not as much as some of the other Marvel movies. And now, the first Thor movie. Yeah, just revisited that recently, and it was a lot funnier than I remembered. Like, I always, remembering, for me, Thor Ragnarok was, the funny Thor movie. And for sure, it is. But Thor 1 had a lot more jokes than I remembered, or I just like them more now than I did in the past. I'm not sure, but I had a great time watching that movie. But still, I want to be fair to also other movies and not let my recency bias get a hold of me. So Thor for me is also finding a nice little spot in the B tier. Definitely good. First Thor movie. It has that serious but yet lighthearted tone, so follows the Marvel formula a lot more. I really liked just Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of that character. The humor. It's really the humor. This could definitely fall into C tier for me, but I think it was really funny. I liked how it set up Asgard and the aliens, and yeah, the whole thing about magic and magic versus science. That was just a scene that really moved me. And of course, the father-son relationship, the growth that Thor went through. Yeah, I like it. For me, solid B tier. And the next in line, Captain America, the first Avengers, so the first Captain America movie. A very different movie because it just has that old style to it, which of course is on purpose, I know, but still it's something that I didn't really like in the past. But now, revisiting these movies with some nostalgia added, I think the old style actually works quite well. And just because I could now value Captain America a lot more as a hero, I like the uniqueness of giving him an origin story where most of the time you start off with a flawed character and then he learns and grows and becomes a better version. But Cap really has that unique aspect where he's from a character-wise, he's already amazing, and then just because of the serum, his physical side catches up to that amazingness, and it's just something that I really liked. And of course, setting up Hydra and Bucky and yeah, a lot of things. So I'm actually gonna put it into A tier. It's not what I would have done back then when I saw this movie a first time, but I don't know. Now, looking back, it's just I enjoyed it a lot more. It has a lot of heart, this movie. Really liked revisiting it. And yeah, the character of Captain America, the whole life lesson side of that movie just really moved me nowadays. So I think that's why I'm going to put it in A tier. So with this one, I feel like many people could disagree. So let me know in the comments if you disagree with this, where you place Captain America, the First Avenger. And now, yeah, we're already at the end of Marvel Phase 1. It's really a good but short phase. And now, of course, the Avengers. Yeah, am I going to place it in S tier, in A tier, maybe even B tier? I don't know. Infinity War, Endgame, they're really good Avengers movies. Is Avengers 1, it's not as good as those, so maybe it doesn't deserve S tier. Oh no, who am I kidding? Avengers, for me, it is a very clear S tier. And now why is that? While I think Infinity War, definitely Infinity War, is a better movie than the first Avengers movie, or a better Avengers movie, it's just hard to compare something to the first Avengers movie, the first team-up movie. This movie had so many things going against it. Back then, many people said, no, you can't make a team-up movie, you can't have multiple superheroes in one movie that all had their or usually the main character in their own movie. Now you're bringing them together. That can't work. How will the whole story feel? How will anybody enjoy that movie? And yeah, it's a fair argument. It sounds impossible when you put it like that, but they did it. It worked. And of course, set loose, yeah, a lot of people that were like, okay, this works. And suddenly everybody, it felt like, wanted to build their own universe and build up to something like the Avengers, or if you're DC, just not do all the heavy lifting and just start with the Avengers movie, which in their universe is the Justice League. So that didn't really work, but I think it's a good example of how easy it is to mess up a movie like that. So yeah, being the first of its kind, then being that good, yeah, it definitely deserves S tier in my opinion. I think it's also difficult to rank the Avengers movies compared to the movies about just one character. How do you say? You know what I mean. The other movies that are not about the Avengers. I think it's hard to compare them because, especially like something like Infinity War, of course has a lot of potential to be epic, or also the first Avengers movie. If you bring all these characters together, of course, if that's done well, it's a very epic movie. And how can you compare that to Iron Man 1, for example? But yeah, they did a great job, and I think they're definitely deserving of S tier. And yeah, I don't even know, like, this doesn't necessarily have to be in order, but if I had to pick my favorite movie of MCU Phase 1, it would be Iron Man. And yeah, it's difficult to say, like, first Avengers movie, Iron Man movie, but yeah, it's Iron Man 1 just has that special place for me. So that's my favorite movie of the MCU Phase 1. Maybe even the entire MCU, but we'll see as the revisits go on, as I continue my MCU rewatch series. So that's my ranking of MCU Phase 1. Iron Man Avengers in S tier, Captain America A tier, Iron Man 2 Thor B tier, and Hulk, sadly, in the D tier. Let me know how far you agree with this ranking, or more interestingly, don't agree with this ranking. Like, this is the thing. Hey, this isn't. I don't want to start a war here. We're all Marvel fans. We all like revisiting these movies, and I'm interested in your opinion. So let me know in the comments below how you would rank these movies, and hopefully I'll see you in Marvel Phase 2 as I rewatch them all and share my personal stories and what else. So hopefully I'll see you there. Bye.